Sometimes Nina Gregory got lost in the elasticity of time. When she was concentrating on something with a singular focus, time seemed to stretch, like a rubber band pulled taut, until snap, the sound of a cleared throat or a car horn would make time feel normal again. She was lost there now, putting the finishing touches on the speech her boss Rafael was going to give at tonight's campaign fundraiser. "You're in the Nina zone," her college roommate Leslie would have said if she were there. Then, just as Nina got to the last sentence, her phone buzzed, bringing her back to the present. It was Tim. "On a call that's running over. Probably be about 20 minutes late tonight. Sorry." "No worries," she typed back. "I'll be there." "Can't wait to see you," quickly appeared on her screen. Nina smiled. "Same," she wrote. Tim's answer was a smiley face and a thumbs-up emoji. When Tim was on forever-long conference calls with the startups he worked for, he would scroll through emojis, sending strings of them to Nina, summarizing his day in cartoon images. Getting those texts always made Nina laugh. Deciphering them reminded her of the rebus puzzles the two of them used to solve together as kids when they shared the back seat of her father's car before they knew their futures would twine around each other. As she was responding to Tim's text with her own emojis, Jane, the campaign's communications director, leaned on the edge of Nina's desk. "Big favor," she said, twisting her micro braids into a bun. "Would you be okay staffing tonight's event on your own? Mac and I need more time to hammer out the details of Rafael's position on charter schools before I prep him for that New York 1 interview." Nina didn't usually staff events. Most speechwriters didn't. But she happened to be going to this fundraiser because her closest friend from high school was hosting it. Actually, Priscilla was hosting it because Nina had asked her to, though she'd made sure no one at the campaign knew that. "No problem," Nina said, shifting her attention to Jane. "I'm sure I can handle it. Just tell me what I need to know." As Nina hit print and emailed herself the speech as backup, Jane gave her a crash course. "Mia's running advance for the event, so you don't have to worry about the logistics. All you have to do is introduce Rafael to donors with information that he can use to start a conversation. I've got the guest list along with their photos and what we know about them. I'll text it over, but you could probably manage without the list anyway." Nina nodded. "Make sure he always has a drink in his hand, a weak one," Jane continued. "He likes vodka soda with a twist of lime." She was ticking the pointers off on her fingers. "And make sure no one monopolizes too much of his time. Mia will have the gift bag set up, so you don't have to worry about that either. She can help you if you need anything." Nina nodded again. "Got it," she said. "I promise it's not hard," Jane answered, pushing herself off Nina's desk. "Don't worry," Nina said, gathering her bag and her blazer. "We'll be fine." She grabbed the speech and walked into the hallway. Rafael was waiting right outside the elevator bank, his tie perfectly straight, his gray suit jacket folded neatly over his arm. "So, it's just you and me, huh?" he said, as Nina stopped beside him, buttoning her blazer. "That's what they tell me," Nina replied. She looked up, and he smiled. The Daily News had written about Rafael's smile twice, calling it high wattage and compelling, part of Rafael O'Connor Ruiz's charm offensive. Nina could understand why. There was something about his smile, the unself-consciousness, the way his eyes crinkled, how it showed both rows of his teeth, that made it impossible not to smile back. "I think we can manage," he said, running his left hand through his thick black hair. Until last fall, Rafael had been an immigration lawyer, defending New Yorkers who were facing deportation, and then he and his wife divorced. He took a leave from his firm, and he announced in January that he was going to run for mayor of New York City. That was 4 months ago. Nina had been his fourth hire, after Jane, Mac, who was the campaign manager, and Christian, who ran the fundraising outreach. "I have complete faith in us," Nina answered. The elevator came just as her phone buzzed with a text from Jane. "Our car is outside," Nina said to Rafael. "Jane said to tell you the driver's name is Frank. He took you home last week and he's a Yankee fan." "Frank," Rafael repeated. "Yankee fan, right. I remember him." Rafael had made it very clear during his first meeting with his senior staff that he wanted to know the name of every single person he came in contact with during the election cycle so he could address them properly when he said hello and thank you. He wanted everyone to feel valued, no matter their job. "Do you know how annoying that's going to be?" Mac had grumbled when the meeting ended. But Nina loved that Rafael had made that request. It reminded her of her father, actually, who knew the name of every bartender, housekeeper, and bellhop who worked at the Gregory Hotels. "Did it ever occur to you," Jane had said to Mac then, "that you should probably know these people's names anyway?" Nina had hidden her laugh behind a cough, but since that first meeting, she found herself siding with Jane over Mac whenever there was a side to take, and she liked that Rafael seemed to as well.